Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. We're waiting for Usopp to get stronger in Elbaf, but Oda will surprise us, and today we'll see how Chopper will become even stronger in this arc. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, if there's a character who hasn't yet had an arc truly dedicated to his maximum growth within the story, it's Chopper. Since the beginning of the journey with the Straw Hats, he has always had a unique trajectory within the crew, oscillating between the role of mascot and a fighter who, although showing impressive moments, hasn't yet received the spotlight that his companions have achieved throughout the story. If we look at the structure of the main sagas, each crew member had a chance for significant evolution in a specific arc. Luffy in Enies Lobby, Zoro in Wano, Sanji in Whole Cake, Nami in Arlong Park, and so on. But Chopper? He's had moments, yes, but nothing that truly elevated him to the level his potential suggests. And this is where Elbaf could become the key piece for him to reach his most powerful transformation. If we go back to recent chapters from 1130 to 1137, there are already some elements that can be used as a basis for understanding how Elbaf could be the ideal stage for this change. Prince Loki, for example, mentions his family lineage and the Akuma no Mi that has been passed down through generations. This gives us a hint that the Giants culture involves not only brute strength, but also some form of ancestral knowledge that could include medicine, natural bioengineering, or even a superior mastery of their own physiology. If that's the case, Chopper might have access to something that will finally allow him to take his Rumble Ball to an unprecedented level. The Rumble Ball has always been Chopper's unique feature. Since he developed it, he's been able to explore forms he wouldn't normally have with his zone, but he also suffered the consequences of this excessive use. In Enies Lobby, he completely lost control when he used 3 in a row. In Punk Hazard, he showed that he had learned to better control the monstrous point without needing so many Rumble Balls. But what would happen if he had access to a method that allowed him to surpass his own limits in a stable way? I think the answer might lie in Elbaf. If we consider that the Giants have much more advanced medical or physiological knowledge than regular humans, then it's possible that they've already seen or studied creatures with characteristics similar to Zoans. Furthermore, if Loki was trapped for 6 years and survived in an environment without sunlight, perhaps there's a connection between his resistance and a type of adaptation that Chopper could study and incorporate into his own body. This would make sense, especially because the monstrous point has always had one clear issue: extreme energy consumption. But what if there was a way to stabilize this transformation without such a high cost? The chapters also provide clues about the environment of Elbaf. We know it's a place dominated by colossal warriors, many of whom have powerful ancestral lineages. What if Chopper encountered someone who was a direct descendant of the ancient giant tribe? Someone who possessed knowledge of an ancient method for physical enhancement? Maybe something that involves not only training, but also a specific natural substance from the island. This could completely change the way Chopper deals with his transformations. Another important detail lies with Loki himself. His scream, scaring the region's beasts, could indicate that he has some influence over animals, or those with sharper wild instincts. If that's the case, Chopper could end up facing an internal dilemma in Elbaf. His Zoan isn't just a simple transformation power, but rather something that completely alters his biology. If the Giants have knowledge of this, maybe they could awaken something in him that's never been explored before. The theory of awakened Zoans has been debated for years within the community, but few characters have truly shown what this state means. Chopper could be the next. There's also an element that has always been present in his narrative, but never taken to the extreme: his hybrid identity. Chopper has never been fully accepted by either reindeer or humans, always living in the position of someone who doesn't belong anywhere. But what if in Elbaf he found a culture that not only accepts him, but sees him as a potential warrior? If the Giants value strength above all else, Chopper could be recognized for something that he himself hasn't yet seen within him. Another detail worth mentioning is that so far, Chopper has never had a real adversary that required him to undergo a complete and uncontrollable transformation. In all his peak moments of strength, there was always a context that prevented him from fully exploring his power. In Enies Lobby, the risk of losing control was too great. In Punk Hazard, he already had more control but didn't face anyone who demanded 100% of his potential. In Elbaf, he might finally encounter an opponent who forces him to overcome this limit. Maybe an ancient giant, maybe a hidden enemy we haven't met yet. But the truth is that Chopper needs this moment to finally solidify himself as a true monster on the battlefield. That's why I think Elbaf won't just be Luffy's arc. It will be the moment of transformation for several crew members. And Chopper who has so far been on the sidelines of the major individual development events, will finally have his chance to show what he's capable of. If he can improve his rumble ball with the Giant's knowledge and stabilize his monstrous point once and for all, then maybe we'll see a new version of him, something that could even go beyond what has been shown with other awakened Zoans. After all, if the Giant's medicine is as advanced as it seems, then Chopper could be on the verge of reaching the peak of what he's always wanted to be, a monster who fights for his friends without losing his own consciousness in the process. And let's face it, the presence of the Giants in Elbaf and the power they represent isn't limited to just brute strength. They have an advanced understanding of the body and its capabilities, something Chopper, as a doctor, can take advantage of in a unique way. Chopper has always been someone who studied the biology of other species, but never had access to deeper knowledge or more advanced medical practices. Elbaf could be the place where he finds that. By diving into the Giant's medicine, he could understand the limits of his own body and how to expand them. Maybe there's a technique that allows him to stabilize the monstrous point in a controlled manner, a way to maximize the power of this transformation without the risk of losing control. That stability would be crucial, as the biggest flaw of the monstrous point is precisely its instability. If he could maintain this power without the extreme side effects, the transformation could become a true force to be feared on the battlefield. In addition to studying the advanced medicine of Elbaf, Chopper could learn from the Giant's life philosophy. In a place where strength is so valued, Chopper may be challenged to understand what true strength really means. It's not just about defeating enemies, but about being able to bear the weight of that strength, both physically and mentally. Chopper has always shown himself to be a character who doesn't seek only power, but also the protection of his friends and caring for others. In Elbaf, he might discover a way to combine his newly found strength with his personality as a doctor, creating a force that is both destructive and healing. It's possible that he could learn, for example, how to manipulate the life energy of living beings, something inspired by the Giant's healing techniques, but with a focus on enhancing his own abilities. This could be a real turning point for Chopper, as he would no longer be just the crew's doctor, but a true force in combat. He wouldn't just transform into a monster when needed, but someone who masters his transformation, deciding when and how to use it to protect his friends or defeat an enemy. If the Giants have the knowledge to help Chopper stabilize his monstrous point, this could lead him to a new form. Not just a stronger monstrous point, but a completely new transformation, perhaps even more akin to the Giants themselves. Imagine a Chopper who, when activating his transformation, not only grows in size and strength, but also acquires physical traits that bring him closer to the Giants. His muscles become denser, his skin thicker, and his endurance is amplified to the point where he can withstand powerful blows without suffering as much damage. He might even perhaps gain the ability to control his strength more precisely, something the Giants are known for doing with great skill. The key to this new transformation could be something like the ancestral strength, an energy that the Giants use in more intense battles, which could be passed on to Chopper through the ancient knowledge of the Elbaf elders. He would become capable of using raw strength in a more balanced way, knowing exactly when to increase his power and when to reduce it to conserve his energy. This would also mean he wouldn't just be a destruction machine, but a more tactical and strategic fighter. Additionally, considering that Chopper is already a mix of several species, the addition of this knowledge from Elbaf could make his zone even more unique. He would be the first to reach an awakened zone form that blends human, reindeer, and giant elements, creating a completely new hybrid, something never before seen in One Piece. But beyond simply gaining power, Chopper would also have to face the internal challenges that his transformation brings. A big issue is how he deals with the idea of being a monster. He has always struggled with his identity, being a hybrid of several species, and often struggling to find his place in the world. He has never been fully accepted by either the reindeer or the humans, and this has always made him feel on the margins. Perhaps in Elbaf, he could find a culture that not only accepts, but truly values this duality. The Giants, with their unique view on strength and survival, might be the key for him to accept himself as he truly is, and not just as a healer or someone who uses his power in a limited way. The Giants could help him understand that true strength doesn't just come from his ability to heal or transform into a monster, but from his capacity to adapt and evolve. Chopper could then learn to embrace his hybrid identity, and instead of trying to fit into a specific mold, he would become something new and unique. This journey of self-discovery would undoubtedly be one of the most important moments in his evolution as a character. But of course, the greatest proof of what Chopper has learned in Elbaf would come through a real confrontation. It's possible that during his stay on the island, he might encounter a formidable adversary, perhaps an ancient giant or a powerful beast that forced him to use all of his newly discovered power. The battle would be the final test of his new transformation, where he would have to use his strength intelligently and strategically, not just destroy everything in his path. At this point, Chopper would no longer just be transforming into an uncontrollable monster. He would be able to use his strength precisely, combining his medical knowledge with his new ability to manipulate his body. He might even be able to heal himself during the battle, something he has never been able to do before due to the unstable nature of his previous transformations. This would make Chopper a much more dangerous opponent, as he would no longer rely on his physical limits. Instead, he would use the giant's wisdom and his own intelligence to fight more efficiently. By the end of this arc, Chopper would not only be stronger, but much more complete as a character. He could finally be recognized for his strength, both on the battlefield and as the crew's doctor. What started as a journey of self-discovery about his body and limitations could transform into a personal evolution that gives him a new purpose, not just to protect his friends, but to become the warrior he was always meant to be. Elbaf will undoubtedly be a turning point for Chopper. If he can harness the giant's knowledge, stabilize his transformation, and reach a new form of power, he will become a much more complex and interesting fighter. Not just a character who relies on brute strength, but someone who has absolute control over his own body and abilities. A true combination of medical intelligence and physical strength, capable of facing any challenge that comes his way. Chopper has the potential to be more than just a crew member. He could become a true monster, not just for his power, but for how he has learned to control his strength and understand his own body. In Elbaf, he will find the key to this transformation, and it will be one of the greatest evolutions we see in One Piece. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.